What is up, everybody? Shauna D-Man here, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys had yourselves a great week, having a great weekend. We are back with another episode of the Nerd Talk podcast, and we have a brand new guest for this week as well. I will shift it over to our guest and let them introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about themselves.
Hi, everyone. I'm really happy to be on this podcast today. My username is Diasomiaknight, but many know me as Silver. I have been cosplaying for like 10 years at this point, but only really did it seriously for about like 5 of them. So I'm just really excited to be here today and answer questions about my process and how I'm able to wear all that nonsense all day at a convention. Yeah, because it's like, I don't know, it's half the battle just like existing in it. So yeah, and I use they, she pronouns. So
okay.
yeah, there we go.
So to get us going into the conversation, tell us what it was like, or I guess what was your first encounter with cosplaying, and what was that like for you?
So I've been dressing up, just like playing dress up for as long as I can remember. But it was about 10 years ago at this point when I found out that like people who like to play dress up can go to conventions and like find other people who like to play dress up too. Um and a few years prior to that, when I was much younger, I went to the Renaissance Fair for the first time, and that's sort of like a similar deal. So I was like, oh cool, this is like the Renaissance Fair but like different times of year, and it's like indoors, and I don't know, it was just really exciting that I could be a part of that. And my first cosplay for a convention, it was a small convention at my local library in summer of 2015, and I was wearing a Maleficent costume from Party City. And I was happy as a clam. And believe it or not, I actually still have that Party City Maleficent costume and use it to this day as the base for my Maleficent costume. That I haven't done it since last summer, so you may have to scroll a little bit if you want to pull that one up. But I'm probably gonna bring her back later this year because I've gotten a new phone since these pictures from last year were taken. So they are a bit more blurry than my current stuff, but it's still really, really cool. It's from June 2024, so it's a while ago.
Are you
But
wearing a okay, I think I found, are you wearing like a green face paint and that
yeah,
kind of
green
stuff?
face paint. I'm holding a staff. I'm not wearing a wig. That's my real hair. And then I have like
Okay,
the
let's see.
horn cap on and stuff. Yeah, that is I think it was a Maleficent costume from the original rollout of like the live action Maleficent movie in like 2014, and by the time I had obtained that in like 2015, it was on like mega sale, and it's like surprisingly good for a Party City cosplay. And you know what I do is I take that base and I just accessorize on top of it. That's like, that's actually a good place to launch my process. Sometimes you don't need like a super fancy costume. That's a costume from Party City, but I added on, like the jewelry, the brooch and the crown and stuff like that. And I painted the gloves and like did my makeup and stuff. So it's like you take the simple base and you add things more and more to make it something that looks more compelling than, what people would traditionally think of, like a Halloween level costume.
Okay. How long did how so whenever you did this process for this particular cosplay, how long did it take you to put everything together?
So this one is definitely one of my more extreme examples for like process and like getting into the makeup and stuff like that. I'm very happy, that this is a very comfortable cosplay. I think I was wearing my pajamas under that. um it's a very comfortable cosplay, and as you can see, I'm not wearing a wig in that, so I don't have to
Mm,
spend extra time pinning my wig and such like that. However, I'm doing everything but. I have I have two pairs of false lashes on my eyes. I have the fangs in my mouth. I have the contacts in, and the pointy ears that you see. Originally, they're like a pale peach color that
mhm.
matches my skin, but I painted and contoured them myself. So I before I was even putting anything on my body, I had to take a paper plate and put the you know the paint and the ears and everything and like contour them and shade them on that paper plate and let them sit for a little bit before even doing any of this.
Okay.
Um so this one specifically was an all-nighter. Cuz I was like I had to like as I said I had to paint my prosthetic ears, and I had to do all these bells and whistles with my makeup and stuff like that. So that's why I said it's like it doesn't have a wig, but it's everything but. So more complicated character looks like that can take many hours, like 5 to 7 hours, which is why they end up, being done at night, just because nobody, is like, hey, can you go to the store to get this? Because, like, I don't know, I want to be available to, like,
Right.
help out other people in my family. I can't be like, no, I'm doing this, so that's why it ends up being at night, just because it's when I have, like, the most time to be, like, alone and in my zone, Um, and also, those gloves that you see, those are
Mhm.
sheer, like light peach gloves that match my skin tone, but I painted them green and painted them with like the ink, so it looks um like I don't know, like that's like a like canonical design, but I
Right.
saw
Right.
it, like I think it was like someone's D&D character that I saw on like my For You page one time that was like some kind of like witch or like I don't know, necromancer or something that had like black ink, going down their hands like that, and I was like, "Whoa, what if I did that for Maleficent?" Because again, it's not 100%, the 1959 Maleficent, but it's
Mhm.
also not 100% like the 2014 one either, because the costume, again, it's a based off of the 2014 one specifically, but the green and like the makeup placement resembles the 1959 one more, and the ears are kind of giving World of Warcraft. So that's that. It's like it's just kind of all over the place, but by taking, like a simpler base like that costume, you can go all over the place like that, and still I don't know, like you have more room to build on.
Okay. Okay. So you done your first cosplay. What was it like going to your first convention as a cosplayer?
Um I was a little nervous just because I didn't know what to expect, but again, it was my local library, so I had gone to events there before, so I wasn't, like, too nervous, but, like, I I really didn't know what to expect, or, like, if I would be overdressed or underdressed. because especially at like local cons, it's like
Mm,
really easy to be like, okay, so like here's like all that you're doing, and then like everybody else is just kind of like chill, it's
yeah,
like I don't know. Like I when you're younger, you kind of worry about like sticking out like that, but I got a lot of compliments, and I forgot to mention that staff that I'm holding. That's
mhm,
actually my. It was a gift for my sister many years ago. That my parents got for her from the Ren Fair, and because it's such a nice quality staff, we've just kind of had it around in the house. And I thought, since it was purple and like kind of magical looking, it was kind of
right.
perfect for my Maleficent costume. Like that's a common theme around my account. It's like my props aren't like 100% canonical because it's like for my cosplay of Lisa from Genshin Impact, like I have like this like interesting looking notebook that looks like a spell book. It's not like any of the catalyst weapons in the game. It's just like a cool notebook that I got for Christmas one year.
uh, so, how many cons have you been to? Um, I know typically some cosplayers that I've talked to, they go anywhere from like, mainly based off where they live, but anywhere from 3 to 4 conventions a year. What about you? How many do you typically attend?
um I think yeah, around there. Cuz the like fast forward many years, I've been to many cons since that little library one,
Right.
obviously, and uh honestly, it kind of helped me not be nervous for my first big con, which was about 5 or so months after that, uh because it kind of helped me like I don't know, check the water, see how it is.
Right.
Um and yeah, now at this point, I would say I go to about like 3 or 4 in a year, mostly near the beginning of the year because once we get into the summertime, that's when I'm involved with the Bristol Renaissance Fair, and that's like a lot in July and August. Yeah, and then not really much in the end of the year, just because when we get to the end of the year, there isn't as much like by
Mm,
me convention wise. So I don't know. I think I'll like focus on photo shoots around then or something else. Cause I've always wanted to go to Colossal Con North because that one seems really fun, but it's like 4 hours away and
oh,
expensive.
yeah.
So like I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do tend to go more in the beginning of the year. And then there's also Con Alt Delete in December by me, but I try not to support conventions ran by Ryan Kopf. I'm not gonna open that can of worms right
Gotcha.
now because I feel like anything that can or has been said about him already has, and this is about me. This is my show. So
Uh, so what? So, um, trying to think. What's your favorite con that you typically go to? Like your number one. I'm always going to this one no matter what.
if you asked me this question a few years ago, it would be C2E2.
Okay.
But now it's Anime Milwaukee, not because like I have any like specific gripes against C2E2 or anything. It's just like I really, really enjoy the space for Anime Milwaukee. I love that old ass creepy hotel. I
Oh, it's in a
love,
hotel.
yeah,
Oh, I
it's
didn't
like,
know that.
oh my god, it's at an old creepy hotel, and like the elevators sometimes it's like I'll press the 8th floor. And then it just kind of like mysteriously wavers between the second and third, lighting up the ding for the third button,
Hmm.
and then kind of like the lights would flicker. And then it just goes up to the eighth floor, like I
Oh.
asked. And I'm like, are we gonna Tower of Terror here? Like, I don't know. When I said I wanted my Disney moment in real life, I was thinking talking animals, not like actual Tower of Terror, you know?
So I think you're very much. Are you like also? Are you like into like the horror aspect and stuff like that as well?
Um, I do enjoy, like spooky macabre stuff. Like
Okay.
I'm into um gothic fashion and stories and such.
Okay.
And another reason why I don't really go to cons at the later part of the year is because I'm one of the actors at Hell's Gate Haunted House in Lockport. Yeah. Um since this is going to be my first fall season in a while without having to balance school since I recently graduated.
Oh
Yay,
yeah, you
graduation.
did. I was yeah.
Yeah.
What did you? So real quick, what did you graduate in?
I graduated with a Bachelor of Arts in Technical Theater, focusing on makeup and costume design.
Okay.
And my minor was in stage combat. Yeah, so this fall I won't be going back to school, and that means that I'll be able to likely take on more weekends as a haunt actor. I've been doing haunt acting specifically, not at Hell's Gate,
Mhm.
but I didn't start there at first, but I started at like a smaller haunted house when I was in high school, like somebody's excuse me, somebody's
Mhm.
home haunt. They trick out their front yard. It's the Shirley House of the Dead in Orland Park. It's kind of more of a local known thing, but I was they would hire um like kids who were involved in theater in the area, and I was one of the kids that they hired, so that kind of helped me um really take a liking to haunt acting. So then, like, when I was in college, I auditioned for Hell's Gate, and I found a lot of my skills carrying over, so it was really cool.
Oh, cool. Uh, I do love haunted houses. I do. I enjoy those. We have one here where I live. It's called Atrox, and it's like one of the
Oh,
big ones in Alabama, and
wow.
uh, it's very fun. We went. It's been year. No, actually, no. I went 2 years ago, I think, for my friend Megan's birthday. But uh, the first time I went was quite interesting because I didn't know what to expect. I'd never been there, but like you get there, you get like tokens, like hey, you're in group blood, you're in group gut, or whatever. And you kind of just you
Mhm.
wait your turn. It's cool because sometimes they will have actors or actresses who in horror movies show up. So I think the year I went the first time, I believe they had the original actress who played Carrie. She was there,
Wow.
and I think the second time that I went, they had the guy who played Michael Myers, or yeah, I think he played Michael Myers in the original Halloween. Um, but it was very cool. So like you get lined up, and they kind of move you to into a room, and they just go over the rules, and it's just like, hey, don't do this, don't do that. The you know cast whatever they won't do this, they won't do that. You'll be fine. And like it was funny because like we're like watching this guy and listening to him talk, there was a guy like in a werewolf costume somehow like snuck in, and we didn't see him. And my friend Matt, who was behind me, like the guy in the werewolf suit came over and he just like sniffed my friend Matt, and he he went
No.
he went crazy. He just like
Ah!
so and so then they started like just shoving us through. We came across this like swampy stage area, and there was like a witch on a porch, and she's like yelling at us. We're all looking at her. A guy with a chainsaw comes out of nowhere and starts to attack us with the chainsaw. And my friend Jimmy, he lost his shoe. I ran into a wall.
No
Yep,
way.
yep. And we were just like, we need to get out of here. And so it was. I love haunted houses. They're very fun. Uh,
Absolutely.
and so what is typically your role when you do that particular kind of thing? What do you do?
So oftentimes at Hell's Gate, people rotate roles a lot,
Mm.
but I stay in the same role a lot because I'm one of the only people that likes doing my role. So I am in what is called the doll room. It's very self-explanatory.
Mm.
There's just like scary dolls all over the walls and like a giant dollhouse door that I need to guide people through. There are two doll statues that look exactly like me. They have like big baby heads and they're in various states of decay. There's one that's an animatronic that lurches forward and is sort of like a red herring because you're supposed to think that one's an actor. And then like there's one that stands still. And then there's me. I'm the third one. You know, you think the one that lurches forward is an actor, and then you pass by me in the corner and I'm like I don't know, it's like scarier when I'm like in the thing. And the reason why people don't like doing it is because it's this big giant baby head mask and you could only see through this eye.
Uh,
However, it doesn't lurch around on my head a lot because I have a really big head. Um like it's not like me just saying that. Like that's just like a fact. Um and because of like the shape of my skull, I can be okay wearing that mask for a long period of time. And I don't know, I enjoy that role is like 100% physical acting too, because I'm not really like a scare people with their voice type of person, you know, because I when I first started at Hell's Gate in 2022, um I was being switched around as like different characters before eventually landing on the doll. It was like, I don't know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Okay, just right. You know, but in my little bit of this, you know, I was a talking character and I my voice just felt so hoarse in a way where I didn't think it was sustainable for me to keep doing that, you know, cuz like you know, one or two scares at the beginning of the night, that's good, you know, but they're pumping up the audio and the
yeah,
attraction, and people are talking to each other, and literally you're just hoarse by the end of the night.
I bet.
Um, and there, you know, like a haunted house is an ecosystem. It is all different types of actors. Like there are the people that, you know, like to be outside. They're the people that like to be inside. They're the people that are more physical acting. They're the people that are like yelling at you, you know? So I feel like I was finding myself, you know, in those quadrants,
Mm.
and that was just not the quadrant that I was going to be in. And I knew that pretty quickly, you know? So that's why, you know, like I'm an inside character and I'm a quiet one. But I'm gonna make you pee your pants. Cause like oh my god, one of my favorite scares from last year was like like there was this really tall drunk guy who was with his friends. And if I had to liken him to anything, you know those like balloon guys outside of car washes?
Oh yeah, the wacky wavy
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, they're just, like, so, like, tall and
Mhm.
limp. Like, that's what this dude was like, and he was like, "Oh, no, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine." And then he sees me, like, lurch down, and he's like, "Jesus Christ!" And it's like, I don't know, you know? I love just, like, people think they're okay, they think they're in a quiet corner, and then I get them. It's so fun. And I don't even have to say anything. They just think like, "Oh my god," though. Um, one time, uh, this this drunk lady, you know, I don't know why this establishment sells alcohol because like we are getting people inebriated and then like putting them in like the void. It's scary. But I digress. The uh because my movements are so sharp and I'm wearing gloves, I'm wearing the mask and stuff like
Mm,
that, and the only eye you can see, I'm wearing circle lenses in. Um, you know, these ladies could not decipher whether or not I was a robot. So one of them pinches my hand. It's like this is my hand, and she's like
mm.
to like see, and then like another one puts like her finger like pokes my side, like my ribs, and I break character for 2 seconds, and I'm like, "Can I help you?" And they were like, "Oh."
That was something.
Yeah, because it's like these people are like really touchy when they think they can get away with it.
Oh yeah,
But when it's like, oh shit, that's a person, they're like, they don't want to get caught.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
they don't want to be like that guy that like the actor has to like tell people about.
Oh yeah.
Uh which like again, I I respect the choices of the establishment that I work for. But I don't understand why we sell alcohol because, maybe some of these people, like, in their right minds, like, wouldn't do that. But, like, after a few, they're just, like, touching all the actors trying to see who's real. Are you real?
I don't think I've ever experienced anything like that. Oh man, I can't think. I don't think. Yeah, I think pretty much every haunted house I went to over the years have all been relatively good. There was one near me where they had like this kind of fun zombie obstacle course
It's
where like
obstacle course.
yes, and so like there's like maybe 10, 15 employees just out like in this large kind of like prison yard setting, and there's like different, you gotta like climb rope ladders, jump over stuff, and if they touch you, you didn't know until you got to the end, and inside they had a UV light that they were like shine on you, and
Oh.
if you had like a zombie handprint or anything like that on you, you were out. You got touched, you got
Oh.
infected, and so my friend Caitlin, she was like, I think there was maybe 7 or 8 of us that did this. My friend Caitlin was the only one who made it through untouched, so it was a pretty cool pretty cool experience for sure.
That's really cool.
Yeah. We're going to get you. We're going to get you checking out these other haunted houses and stuff like that. Do you scare easy?
What?
Do you get
I
scared
oh,
easily?
oh, yeah, I do actually, which is ironic.
Really?
Yeah, because like I don't know, I'm very jumpy for some reason. I like I don't know, my reactions happen ahead of like me wanting to stop them. So it's just easy to like I don't know, like if I don't expect you, if I think I'm alone in this basement and then like I feel a hand on my back, I'm gonna go, because I didn't expect you, even if like you're someone in my house.
Mm.
Um but like, I don't know, maybe when it comes to scaring, I like to dish it but not take it. It's
Oh,
funny.
really? Oh, man.
I will throw stones from my glass house.
So yeah, you probably because we have so where I live, we have this bridge that we call it Crybaby Bridge. And the story of how it goes is years ago, a woman uh jumped off the bridge with her. It was her and her baby. They jumped off the bridge and into the river. The bodies were never found, but over the years, stories came up that like if you're driving on the bridge and if you just stop, turn everything off, and just kind of sit there quiet, you hear the sound of a baby crying somewhere off in the distance. And
Wow.
so it's one of our little favorite hauntings of where I live. So
That's so cool.
yeah.
What?
Oh no, go ahead. You were about to say something?
Oh no, I was trying to think if you had any more cosplay related questions for
Oh yeah,
me,
sorry.
because
We got
I feel like we went on a really good tangent, and now it's like, okay, I think we got to get back to where we
no.
were.
Listen. That's why I never like structure these. It's just you get into a good conversation and you kind of just go with the flow of things. So
I like that.
uh are there some cons that so speaking of I guess going jumping back to cons, is there any cons that you want to go to that you maybe want to get outside of your bubble of where you live and try some different cons?
Yeah, I mentioned Colossal Con North, but that's still in my stomping grounds,
Mm,
technically, because that's like in Wisconsin and I'm in Illinois. I've always wanted to go to Holiday Matsuri in Florida. I just like don't end up down there like ever, really, and I've always wanted to go to like bigger cons in California, you
okay.
know, like Anime Expo,
Oh yeah.
or even like San Diego Comic Con, or like just like really big ones, or D23 Expo too, because like I'm a huge Disney fan, and I
Really?
think, yeah, I always have wanted to go to that ever since I really found out about it. But again, I don't like I've never been to California. So I have like a lot in that state I want to go to, because I also have some friends, that
Oh,
are in Florida or in California. So it's like there's always the idea that like I'll make a trip to visit them, and then with them I can go to like whatever con or something, but again, it's like a matter of like being able to travel out there. um it's I don't know. I joke sometimes that I'm in my Dr. Doofenshmirtz era, where I'm like really like cool and evil, but I'm confined to the tri-state area.
oh yeah.
The tri-state area.
I heard MegaCon in Orlando is one of the big ones there. Um, Atlanta has Dragon Con, which is a lot of which
Oh
I know
yeah.
a good bit of people who go to that one. I've been to I think like the last 2 years. It's been very, very fun.
Katsucon is another one that I really want to go
Oh
to.
yeah.
I forgot to mention that one. There are just so many cons that, like, because again, I'm relatively confined to my tri-state area. So name a big con, guarantee I want to go to it pretty much. Like MomoCon, even, because some of my friends on TikTok go to that one. um yeah, there are just so many. Like I've been to cons a lot, but it's
Mhm.
more been like the same ones a million times rather
Oh,
than like different ones.
right.
So it's it's more, like that's more how I've been, the same ones many, many times rather than like are all around the map.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. By the way, I've been to Illinois. I have a friend who lives in Jacksonville. Is that what I think it was called? It's been I went like 4 or 5 years ago. It's been a while, but I think it was like yeah, it's like Jacksonville, Illinois. I can't remember, but it's close to where the Abraham Lincoln tomb is. I don't know if you're yeah.
Yeah, because I've been to the Abraham Lincoln stuff in Springfield, but I can't say
Oh,
I've
maybe
been.
it is Springfield. Yeah, maybe I don't know.
Yeah, because Jacksonville, Illinois doesn't really ring a bell to me, but I do know there's a lot of Lincoln stuff in Springfield. because I've been there before and it was interesting.
Do I have photos on my computer? Maybe. I don't remember. It's oh, it was. I do have. Let's see. Where is Nope, that's not that one. Where'd it go? I just saw the name somewhere around here. Uh, um, I know I saw the name around here somewhere, but now I don't know where. Where was that? But it was cool. I enjoyed it. It was it's a nice little town I was in. Yeah, I have friends. I have one one friend who lives in Illinois that I met several years ago. Well, I guess now two, including you.
Yeah,
And
I
so
was gonna say you have two. That's
and so
me.
it
Yay.
was nice. It was like a vacation that I was doing at the time, and so I
An
was like, you know what?
Illinoiscation.
Yeah. Well, I need to take more vacations. I don't take a lot of vacations, so that's something. Because like I think, oh yeah, this was actually my trip to see my friend in Illinois was probably the first vacation I ever took.
When was
Uh,
that?
ooh, it wasn't during COVID, or was it?
Or was it?
See that? Oh, see now again, because I'm trying to remember because I've been all over the place because 2019 that should be the one where I was in Dallas, Texas, visiting a friend. 2020. It was kind of like during that COVID period because
Okay.
I went to Illinois for a week and then I came back and then went to Denver, Colorado for about 5 days.
Nice.
It's not it. Listen, we got to get you out of your tri-state area. We got to get you like checking out some of these places because it was very fun.
Yeah,
Doing
I get that a lot.
that. Do a lot of your
Everybody
friends tell you
like
the same thing?
a lot of people I talk to are like, "Oh my god, your cosplays are so cool. I gotta fly you out to this place. I gotta fly you out to there." It's like a lot of people are flying me out. My arms are gonna be tired for all the flying.
Listen, we're just trying to get you out there, get you out and about.
Yeah, me too, honestly. I like my stomping grounds, but I need to expand. I need to expand my map. The fog of
Exactly.
war, it's too around where I am.
Because I've been let's see, I'm trying to think. I've been to so I think maybe the past 10 or so years, I've been to 15, 16 different states.
Wow.
And one international to Cuba. Yeah. And so what's
That's
next?
interesting.
It
Hmm.
is. They roasted a pig for us on our trip there.
Wow.
Uh I think it was like a local church or something like that. And then they were they're very nice people. And so like we were out doing our little fun day or whatever, and we come back and we just see these guys just sitting there like they're hand turning the pig. And so I think they started at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, like prepping, getting all set to go, and then they put it on the fire about 6, and they had people just sitting there, slowly rotating it for like 6 hours or so. And I don't think I have a picture. I think I do.
A
Uh,
picture?
yeah, I think I do. Maybe. I'm trying to remember if I do or not. Somewhere I have a picture. I'll have to send it to you. But it was a fun trip. But it's nice. It's nice to get outside your bubble and travel, see the world. It is very nice. You got
I
one
have
life.
actually been to a few different countries besides
Oh,
America.
do
I've
tell
been
us.
to Italy, I've been to England and Scotland, and recently I went to Japan. It was a lot of fun.
I've always wanted to go to Italy. That's been like on my bucket list of places to go.
Hmm.
Japan is another one. I want to go to Japan. Uh, England, I'll be okay with. And you said Scotland?
Yeah. Scotland was really cool. I got to see a castle that was featured in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, as well
Ooh.
as some parts of Game of Thrones.
Oh, ooh. Were these like just vacations for you?
Um so the trip to Italy was a family trip.
Okay.
It was for my Nonna and Nonno's 50th wedding anniversary. We went
Oh.
to Rome for a week or so, but then we went to my Nonna and Nonno's hometown near Bari, down south, kind of like the upper heel of like
Mm.
Italy's boot shape. Um and yeah, it was for their 50th wedding anniversary to renew their vows. And I had a lot of fun on that trip, but ironically, I got food poisoning the day of the ceremony.
Oh.
So the reason why we were there, I couldn't celebrate. I couldn't like I don't know, people had like people being like my mom and my aunt and stuff had to like go back to the Airbnb for shift, like in shifts, to like
Mm.
give me like Gatorade and like feed me soup and like check to see if I still had the chills, like I was an ailing Victorian child. Um it was kind of nuts. And then England and Scotland were in the same trip. We went to London for a week or so, with a school trip, um, because we went to Scotland after that for performing in the Fringe Festival in Edinburgh. It's a theater festival. It's pretty well known. We had a devised show that we performed there. I had a relatively small role, but I didn't mind because holy fucking shit, I'm in Scotland, you know? So it was a lot of fun. Um we got to see like there's a different lake that isn't Loch Lomond, because it wasn't Loch Ness that we went to. We went to Loch Lomond and we had like a boat tour of that lake, and it was really, really pretty. Um, I'd love to go back to Scotland one day, not with a school trip, because school trips are a lot of fun, but it's a
Mm.
lot of like wearing the same t-shirt as
Oh
like
gosh.
20 other people and like
Yeah.
having to like stay in a group, and like if you like actually walk through the museum the pace that you want to, you'll end up being left behind. Um
Oh.
so it's just like I don't know, school trips are great, and at the same time they are what they are, and I'm an adult now, so it'll be really cool to you know see the UK by myself. Um and what else? Oh yeah,
Japan.
Japan. That was a family trip, but it wasn't really like family trips when I was little, like my sisters and I got to have a lot of like out and about fun,
Okay.
and shopping in Harajuku was like a dream come true, because I'm not dressed up now, but I wear gothic Lolita fashion in my daily life, which is like a Victorian Gothic influenced Japanese street style subculture. I really enjoy, buying like clothes from Japanese boutiques, both new and secondhand.
Mm.
But like a hurdle to jump over was always the shipping costs. But when I was actually in Harajuku, it was the brands that I already knew, from shopping online and stuff like that. But I could just
Okay.
like take them off the rack and into a fitting room. Like I was at the H&M. It was crazy. Like I was like, I don't know, like I was just like, I don't know, I could have asked someone to pinch me, I thought I was dreaming. It was so great. I also went to a dog cafe. And it was just like, I don't know, you could like sit around and like sip a drink and socialize, and there were little puppy dogs running
Oh,
around, and you could give them treats, and they were so cute. And I I didn't know which kind of dog was gonna like take most of the liking to me, because I love all sorts of dogs. Um Especially Yorkies though. But it wasn't the Yorkie that was super friendly with me. It was the Pekingese dogs. They were so cute and fluffy, and they were just like jumping all over me, and I was like, "Hello dogs." I don't know. It was really great.
oh, see, that sounds cool. That sounds like a very fun trip.
Yeah, it really was. Because we also got to see, traditional stuff. Like, we went to the Meiji Jingu Shrine. And since it was near New Year's, we got to see everyone in line for their New Year's prayers. And it was so cool to just like, I don't know, see like it was a Shinto shrine, so it was like the beautiful natural wood, and it was in the middle of the forest. It was just like, I don't know, something out of a fairy tale. It was gorgeous.
That's see, now you make me want to go because I almost went this year because of Star Wars Celebration was in Japan this
Wow.
past April, so I almost went, but I had some other stuff come up. I was like, that's okay, but it's definitely on my bucket list of places that I do want to go and check out at some point.
Absolutely.
So, because like, because I get, I think I had a guest on before. She also went to Japan not too long ago, but I I feel like if I went, I'd be very aggressive to like the tourists there. They usually go because sometimes people don't know how to act when they go to a different country and things like that. And I'm just kind of like, stop it. What are you doing? So,
Absolutely. Um, that's another thing that I really enjoyed about Japan is the public transport.
mhm.
Because when I was in school in downtown Chicago, I would take the red line a lot to get to class. And, it does what it needs to do, for like not having had new tracks essentially since the 90s. It does what it needs to do, but the subway trains in Japan were just so nice, and we didn't get a chance to go on a bullet train, but even just like the usual like monorail trains,
Mhm.
they're they move so smoothly, and like each different stop has its own little jingle. It's not just like "Meh, Jackson," and like, I don't know, because sometimes you go to sit on a seat in the red line and you're like, why is it sticky?
Oh gosh.
Why is it sticky? um but you don't have that problem in Japan. It's like, it's really nice, it's like, it's really interesting when a country puts resources into public transport,
Mhm.
how nice their public transport is going to be. What? It's really great.
Because I've seen where like I think I've seen different videos of people talk about it like on like Japanese transits like everybody's just quiet, like they're out like keeping to themselves and things like that, and so like this I
Yeah,
was like,
it
oh,
is
that's pretty cool.
quieter. Like, everyone's kind of more chilled out,
uh,
especially since, like, America is set up around cars as primary transportation,
right.
but a lot of people, in Japan just kind of like take public transport like habitually. So I can
Mhm.
understand why there would be quieter habits on there, just because everybody is just kind of using it all the time, going back and forth from like whatever, what have you. And it gets so crowded so quickly,
Oh
people
wow,
aren't really going to want to have a little chat on there, I suppose.
that's true.
Um, like, it wasn't silent as a grave, but it was like, I can understand why people thought it was quieter.
Okay. Still gotta go to Japan for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And so um let me see. So I got your Instagram pulled up. Let's
Yeah,
see.
more questions about that. I'd love that.
So we're not gonna like go through all of it, but just a few of them. You posted one today, actually. Let's see.
Yeah.
Tell us
Yeah, there
about
she
this
is.
one.
So, Makima's nurse outfit is something that I knew I wanted to do for a while because I just think it's so cute. I feel like it kind of gives Britney Spears vibes. Um, I I don't know. I bought this one off of somebody on Depop. Cuz Depop is just a great place for cosplay cuz especially people are worried about getting new cosplays cuz of the tariffs and all of that.
Mhm.
But this is you know, exactly the same kind of one you would buy, from overseas online, except somebody didn't want it anymore. So they sold it, secondhand. And I got it at a discounted price too because it had some fake blood stains on them. But I tried a little bit of rubbing alcohol on a paper towel and they came right out.
Hmm.
So I was able to, like, just because I, took the time to refurbish it a little bit, I was able to give a next life to somebody's costume without having to deal with any tariffs from overseas.
Okay. I like this one. I did
Yeah,
like
me
it.
too.
I thought I did. I wasn't sure if I liked it or not. I was like, oh wait, I did like it.
Wasn't sure if you liked it or not.
So there was that one. And then I think you posted one yesterday. Let's see this
Yeah, I think I
one.
know what you're talking about. This is another one that I got from Depop, but it was like unopened completely because I wouldn't buy like a costume like this that was like worn a few times because it's
Oh,
just like so close to the body and everything. But this, like, that's another reason why Depop is so good because you can get new in bag cosplays for a fraction of the price that you would get them for on other sites. So that was how I was able to obtain this bunny suit. And that is my Eula wig. I styled it in 2022 and I've just been sort of refurbishing her on and off since because Eula is my favorite Genshin character to cosplay. I enjoy cosplaying her so much. And the makeup, oh my god. I loved doing the bold glitter eyeliner because you can see there's like the outline of
mhm.
glitter on the top of the wing. Um, one of the reasons why I love doing Eula is I can just lean into the icy blue vibes and it's
Mhm.
just like all of like the cool toned icy goodness. I that's like I just love her color scheme and her vibe and everything. And those shoes are actually ones that I've had for a while, but I hadn't worn them like in a few years. I think I wore them to homecoming once when I was in high school, but I sort of forgot about them, but they just blend right into that outfit.
Yeah.
I really do think so.
So I asked this question to a guest I had on earlier this week. And so like for you, personally for you, what is it? Obviously some people do struggle with this kind of with like feeling confident about their body and things like that.
Yeah.
Were you like that when you decided to do this type of cosplay, or have you been somebody that's always been confident and things like that?
It's it really is like a difficult, thing to go about, posting your body online and stuff like that. And I have had insecurities about my body. I still struggle with like feeling dysmorphic and stuff like
Mhm.
that because my shoulders are a little wider than my hips and that led me to not feeling feminine. For the people listening, I'm doing air quotes. Um and stuff like that, especially because when I was in high school, the standards for like what was hot were like
Mhm.
very, like hourglass, like the Kardashians, you
Right.
know. So like, because I fundamentally have the opposite of that, and I mean, like, they do too, they just have good surgeons, but who knows,
Yeah.
uh it's like, I don't know, I didn't really feel like I was desirable because I felt like I looked like too much of an inverted triangle or whatever.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know, it's like there's no real like magic bullet of advice to give. It's just like, I don't know, one day I didn't want to post that kind of stuff, and then one day I did, really. And it's also a matter of like growing up
Mhm.
too, because like I'm glad 16-year-old me wasn't posting that. Like,
Yeah.
if like 16-year-old me was posting that same exact picture, no, 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 no. But
Right.
like now that I'm like 23, like that's like better, to, I don't know. It just like, I don't want to sound like I'm like being like judgmental or anything.
Right.
I just do
Right.
think it's nice to let yourself cook a little bit before posting your body online.
Mm.
If you
Yeah.
want to do that,
Right.
just let your frontal lobe kind of congeal a bit more.
Right. No, that's fair. That's completely understandable. Uh, all right. Tell us about this one.
Oh my god. Yeah, this one was surprisingly easy because as I said, I wear gothic Lolita fashion, but I do wear various other kinds of gothic fashion too. And basically, for my entire life, I've loved Amy Lee's look because she's been famous for as long as I can remember too. Like, I think, like, my mom has a story about how one time she was like changing my diaper while like the TV was playing music videos, and there was like a bunch of Evanescence music videos that came on, and I think that just like turned me into who I am today, because when I was a little baby there were Evanescence music videos playing in the room, and I just got the Amy Lee vibes just telepathically beamed into my mind.
I like.
And
And listen,
that's
we
not real
all.
hair also.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Listen, everybody love goth chicks. That's something everybody can agree on. So this one's definitely a home run picture for me. So
Thank
can
you.
never go wrong with goth chicks.
Well, I am
Um,
one, so that's good.
oh, see, perfect. I knew you caught my attention for a reason. I was like, you know what? She's probably goth. Let me hit her up.
No, yeah, I'm not on duty right now, as you can see,
All
but
right, all right.
you know, um, I actually did that cosplay because my sister was having a I was having a party themed like the 2000s, so you could be anything in the 2000s. So obviously I chose
Oh,
Amy Lee in like the
right.
height of her like my immortal kind of look. Um and yeah, I didn't really had to do much to change my appearance, cuz her face is rounder and she has green eyes, but like literally all I had to do was like change my contacts, and I don't know, there it was.
So what's this one?
Oh yeah, this is Ballora. This is actually an older picture of her, but she's from Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh,
It's a very interpretive version of her outfit because she looks more like a robot in the game,
hmm.
but I made her look more like a ballerina doll. Hold on, I can on my phone I can pick up a picture of her. Like similar idea, but she looks more like a
Okay.
robot.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, and I made that corset in a costume construction class at school. Um, and that was in like 2022, I think. Um, and yeah, I was constructing that corset for the like project itself because we were all making like a corset of that kind of style in class together. And then the summer after that, I added like the beading and the flourishes along like the crest there and the purple ruffles. And the tutu was a plain white tutu that I used fabric spray paint to airbrush. Um, and then I hand sewed the border because those flat tutus, like you can make a tutu, but it'll be more of like the like bell shaped style, you know, the not as structured. But if you want to make like the platter style tutu like that, and I know I wanted to sort of evoke, you know, the traditional classic look of ballet, um, you actually need a specific type of crinoline that is very expensive and only comes from England. So, if I were to make a platter tutu myself, it would be very expensive and like resource intensive. So that's why I decided to go over to good old discountdance.com and get myself a plain platter tutu that I could decorate, you know, all I wanted. It was pretty much like getting like a plain vanilla cake from the supermarket and then like putting icing on it myself. And then going to the party. I made
Oh,
this.
there you go. I like that. Let's see. Tell us about. Was this just like a pool party for you right here, kind of thing?
So I like to do, you know, like seasonal related
Okay.
cosplays, you know, in like the respective seasons because I just think it's like a fun way to differentiate the passage of time. And that was actually at a pool near like a townhome association that my um grandparents have a house at in New Buffalo, Michigan. They let us come visit to use the pool. And I'm very thankful that my grandparents let me do that because um I do like to take a swimsuit that I already own and like a whatever character wig that may match and have my sister take some cute pictures of me by the pool because I think it's a lot of fun. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like I you know, whenever something doesn't have like a beach episode, it's like, well, what if it did? You know, like Eula at the pool, Pula, who knows?
So you work. Hey, listen, you make do with what you got. So
I do.
I like that. I like that. Then let's see. So last one. This was the one that caught my attention. I forgot where I was just scrolling through uh, Instagram.
Oh yes, my
Then
Caitlin.
yeah, I was just scrolling, and then I stopped. I was like, wait a second, and I went back up. I was this, and then I saw this. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna shoot her a message. So this
That's
was
a
the one. I
lot
was
of
like,
fun. I appreciate that you love my Caitlin cosplay so much because she is brand new pretty much. That was the first time I had ever cosplayed her because I actually, you know, if you stay tuned on my Instagram, I have some new professional photos of her that I will be posting because these are
oh,
just selfies in my basement that I did as a test to prepare for said photo shoot that I'm referring to. It was about a month ago at this point, and I absolutely cannot wait to post the pictures from that. The reason why I haven't is because I'm working through a lot of other things that I haven't posted yet. But yeah, you guys will get to see, the professional shoots of my Caitlyn cosplay, as well as the selfies that we already have appreciation for.
Okay. Like it. It's probably one of my favorites that I've come across. So definitely really good. I love it. Very much love it.
I'm glad, because I've seen so many Arcane cosplays out and about,
Oh yeah.
and it's like I try not to compare myself, but whenever there's just so many other people doing something at the same time, it's like, where do I fall in this big crowd? It's nice to know that, even though that was like the first time I had ever cosplayed Caitlyn, that it stands out so much.
Listen, I have enjoyed because typically like I just scroll through a lot of people like whenever I go to like try to pick out a guest to see if they want to come on, that kind of stuff. I'll just scroll through. I was like, you know what, I really like her stuff, so
Thank
it's
you.
really good. But yeah, but all right, guys, that is where we will end this episode. Very much enjoyed this conversation. For those who are watching on YouTube, or even then on if they're listening like on podcast or something like that, where can they follow and support you?
So you could follow my TikTok and my Instagram. It's Diasomiaknight, same as my user tag on this call for the people watching. And my YouTube is Silver Van Rouge, but my name is Diasomiaknight. So if you look that up on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, you will be able to find me. We talked about my Ballora cosplay. So the one video I have posted that isn't a short on YouTube is actually a dance that I choreographed myself for Ballora. So that video actually is pretty impressive, because I got runner up to best in show for a contest at school, like a cosplay contest. That's where I'm performing this. But I like I mostly made that costume. I made the corset, I decorated the tutu, and my sister drew the robot joints onto my leotard and my tights. It was a plain white leotard and tights, and I stood super, super, super still and tried not to sneeze or breathe or trip or itch or anything while my amazing sister drew those awesome robot joints on, the tights and everything. And I also colored the ballet shoes blue too, because they don't sell bright blue ones. They only sell like pink and white and various skin tones. So I had to color my own blue ones. And then, of course, I had to do all the makeup and the wig and everything. And in that video, I choreographed the dance. I'm everything but the music and the camera. So please do check that out, because I'm very proud of it. And even though I got runner up to best in show, I'm best in show in my heart, because holy crap, I worked so much on that.
Agreed. So, guys, I would also, guys, I'll have it like linked in the description below, so you guys can go and check it out. So, definitely do that. Go show some love and support. Thank you for coming on. This was very fun.
You're welcome for coming on. This was so great, and I'd love to come back to talk about other things if you like. I don't know, because we already talked a lot about what I do, but I had a lot of fun being on this podcast. So I don't know. I'd like to be back at some point.
Exactly. So,
maybe.
listen, I definitely usually try to come up with different topics and things like that. So more than likely you will be back. So no need to
Yay.
worry.
That's good.
Guys, that's pretty much it. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. You can also check out the gaming channel down in the description as well. Later on, we will be doing it depends. I haven't really fully set my mind to it yet. Either Saturday morning or Saturday night, we'll be doing another stream of Batman Arkham Asylum. So you guys can definitely come and hang out and check that out. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for watching, and we will see you in the next video. You guys have a good one.